Hey, welcome to another History Minutes with Mr. Bennett. I've got with me today my Gourd Banjar. I copied it after one that's in a painting called the Old Plantation from sometime in the late 1700s. Sources disagree about if it's from the 1780s or if it's from around closer to 1800. But it was done by a man named John Ross. Anyway, you can look the painting up. It shows a man, it shows a dance going on. It shows about 12 enslaved people, and they're dancing to the music of an instrument that looks like this. It's a three long strings, one short one. There's a guy named Pete Ross that builds really good versions of these. But anyway, I messed around some and built my own version of it. I've got it strung currently with gut. I was able to get some gut tennis string. So the strings are all the same gauge on this one, which for a homemade instrument seems to work. I've got it tuned. I'm not really sure. I think maybe this is like an E or something. E and A should be. No, it should be probably. It's probably like E and B and something. I was going for D, but I haven't tuned it today, so I'm just tuned it up by ear. Anyway, it's in fifths, I think is the right terminology. But here's a little bit of a tune from 1760s that's pretty well documented in a number of English country dancing books from the 18th century, called "Come Haste to the Wedding." I'll play it here where you can see the banjo here. It's even harder to tune than a modern banjo. Now, it's not copied exactly from the Old Plantation. It's still a work in progress. You can see that I've got 3 different holes drilled from my time of trying to get the I want to say truss rod, but it's not a modern enough banjo for that. But to get the neck tailpiece to actually come out, the peg, it's just one single piece here. Anyway, so I finally last night put a final hole in it so that I could get the right angle I needed for the action. Still a little bit high where I need it, but it works a lot better than it was. So it's got a leather nut on it, as per the ones that I've seen a lot of other reproductions of. I may change that for bone, just for easier playability. But there's still this is completely experimental archaeology. There's very few instruments that survive from this period. And this one itself, this style itself, there's really nothing that I know of that I've been able to find through my research of looking at other people's research, which I'm very glad they did, of any instrument from the 18th century that survived that looked like this. Exactly. There is a Haitian banza from about 1840 that does look very similar to this, with the neck going through the neck of the gourd and coming out somewhere else. Anyway, here we go. Here's "Come Haste to the Wedding." pretty rough, but something just tinkering around with, and just good experimental archaeology. So this has been Mr. Bennett's History Minutes, and this is the Gourd Banjar, as I like to call it. Jefferson spelt it Banjar, B-A-N-J-A-R, when he wrote about it in 1782, I think, in his notes on the history of Virginia. Talks about among slaves and among other African Americans, the banjar was their principal instrument, in addition to the fiddle. But the instrument he talks about them making more of is the banjar, and he describes it with 4 strings, so 3 long ones. I think he says a short one. But we do know that they did have the short string in the 18th century. Typically, like back in the 20th century, people were misattributing that to Joe Walker Sweeney in the 1830s. But we're pretty sure now, banjo historians are, that Sweeney actually added a 5th string. He added a 5th string, but it's really what today we call the 4th string, the deepest of the 5 strings on a 5-string banjo. So anyway, enjoy, or hope y'all enjoyed. I don't know why I said enjoy now, but anyway, thank you for watching and take care.